Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol. Bum, 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 bum. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my girlfriend, Carol. How you doing, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here at the Massive Fee of Lateness. It is March 17th, 1995. Happy St. Patrick's Day!
Drinking some green beer.
Right? Yeah, we got our drink on early morning.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is St. Patrick's Day, and let me tell you something. On a great holiday like St. Patrick's Day, we're not going to talk about the news because I haven't called the newspaper yet and dealt with that.
Because the news is green beer and what do people eat on St. Patrick's Day?
Cabbage.
Cabbage. There you
Cabbage and sauerkraut. I don't know.
Bratwurst?
What else is no? It's Irish stuff. So cabbage and potatoes, stew. Is it something that's bland? Then it's Irish food.
That's not true. Not all Irish food's bland.
Pale people.
Like, there's some kind of thing that my mom eats sometimes. It's like a shepherd's pie.
But isn't she Scottish?
Yeah, but isn't shepherd's pie Irish?
Shepherd's pie is very much, I don't know.
Irish.
Is it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. I mean, we can, look it up at the library and talk about it next week, I guess, if you really want to challenge me on it.
Are you talking about Scottish pie?
No, shepherd's pie.
Cottage pie?
Shepherd's pie.
Ground minced lamb.
Oh my god, did you freaking pull out the freaking encyclopedia to look up shepherd's pie?
I did.
You're such a freak.
Apparently its country of origin, or place of origin, is United Kingdom.
Okay.
Well, Ireland is not part of the United Kingdom.
Okay, fine. So I don't know what Irish people eat, but I know that on St. Patrick's Day we drink green beer and it makes me happy.
I like to drink whiskey.
Ew. Whiskey tastes like dirty feet.
Whiskey tastes like freedom.
And you are not kissing me with dirty feet mouth. Just saying.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah, really.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens at the end of this day. Anyway, so next week I should have the news. That's the headline. We should have the news, maybe some massive love. It's been a while since
I miss massive love.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You used to complain about it, now you miss it.
Well, it's just like the
Absence.
Music stuff, you know.
Absence
Just don't do it as often.
Absence makes the heart
And then
grow
it's
fonder.
special.
Yeah. Well,
Like you.
yeah, I guess we don't do it as often.
Special.
Oh, thanks a lot.
I love you.
Yeah, okay. Can I say something that's like, it might get us in trouble, but I want to say
Uh-oh. I don't know.
My cousin and I one time were driving, and I saw the weirdest piece of graffiti I'd ever seen. You know how there's those signs that says pedestrian crossing, and it says SP, or it says PED, and then crossing?
Uh-huh.
Someone spray painted an S in front of it, so it said sped crossing.
Okay.
You know, like special
Oh,
ed.
special ed, okay.
Right, like sped. And I looked at it and I was like, why? Like, I looked at my cousin and I was like they just travel in herds.
What
But
the fuck is wrong with you?
why? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that graffiti doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. But people just like to make bad words and insults and make them permanent with spray paint.
Where I grew up, there was a street called Essex Street, and people spray painted out the first ES all the time.
Okay.
So it was Sex Street.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. Anyway, so Carol, you watched something, didn't you?
I did.
Didn't
but
you?
Before we talk about what I watched,
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got.
I wanna
more
give a
St.
shout
Patrick's
out because what?
More St. Patrick's Day stuff?
No. But we actually got, like, somebody wrote to us.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We got an email at our 1994 late fee 1994. Sorry, too much beer.
1994 at AOL.com.
Green beer is good. So we want to shout out to Ruby, who is an awesome fan. Thank you for writing. You made my St. Patrick's Day.
Ruby is the best.
Ruby and their cat are listening. Yay.
Yeah.
I love cats. I have a cat.
Oh my God.
Sorry, it's the beer. I'm sorry.
You've got a cat?
Okay,
Tell us about
your
cat.
Yeah. Its name is Kitty. And it's very fluffy.
Okay.
And it purrs when you pet it.
Let me ask you something. So Ruby, about Ruby.
Yes.
Do you think she's swimming in your lies?
What?
Do you think she's swimming in your lies?
Why are you singing?
Do you think it's all just murky green?
What is happening right now?
Don't you think that she would realize? Yeah, do you think that she has ever seen?
No.
It's a song. It's a song by a band that I love called Cake.
Okay.
It's a delicious
Is it called
band.
Ruby?
It is. So the chorus is 'cause when the seaweed sinks and the sun gets low, when the waves retire to the darkness below, I know Ruby sees all.
And that is the whiskey.
It's a very good song. So if you're not familiar with the band Cake, which they're newish, I think, if I remember correctly, I have their album, Motorcade of Generosity. I'm pretty sure this is their initial release. This is their first. It's one of the 5 CDs I own.
The collection is growing every few months.
Yeah, it's up to like 8 actually. But I believe this is their debut. I know they've been on the scene a little bit. Like all bands do, kind of doing the tour scene and stuff like that, like underground, little coffee house, stuff like this. But I believe this is their first actual, like, kind of wide release album. It's certainly the first one that I'm familiar with, the first one I bought. But kind of like with Nirvana, obviously, unfortunately, no more Nirvana music.
Unfortunately, for sure.
But fantastic band. And like you, I like Pearl Jam a little bit.
Except every time that you say Pearl Jam, I get the image in my head now. I wish you hadn't ruined it for me.
I'm so sorry, but anyway, so my 2 favorites right now, coming up, my 2 favorite bands, are Cake and Weezer.
Yeah, they're both good.
And so I'm really into this Motorcade of Generosity, and that Ruby Sees All that's probably my favorite song from that album. So
anyway. How else we could grow the music collection?
How could we grow the music collection?
Columbia House.
Oh yes,
we should sign up for those things. Isn't it like you get like 12 CDs for like a penny or something ridiculous?
Something like that.
We should totally do it.
You know what else we could do? Instead of just taking one song from the Billboard Hot 100 and one from the Alternative 100 for our music thing, we could just do stuff we like. Stuff that, might be on the radio a little bit, but stuff that also might not be on the radio. Like the Motorcade of Generosity, that album came out last year.
Right.
And, it's like Ruby Sees All. It's not like it was... Like that song didn't get a lot of airplay. None of the album, like, completely didn't get a lot of airplay. So it's not making it to the Hot 100 or anything like that. But we could still talk about it.
That's true. Maybe like we could each just pick a song.
Yeah,
and do it that way.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, maybe we'll do it.
Okay. So back to I watched something.
I watched something.
I watched Grace Under Fire. I love that show.
It's a good show. I saw it, an episode, remember?
Yeah, but not this one. So.
How's it, Lady Godiva, right?
What?
What's the song? What's the theme song to this show?
I don't know. It's, see me walking down the street, beach box, something.
I don't think you're right.
I am.
Okay.
I don't know, but it's not Lady
I thought
Godiva.
it was a Beatles song.
No.
Okay.
Anyways.
Should be.
In this episode.
Yeah.
Grace has insomnia.
Is she under some kind of fire?
Always.
Okay. So Grace has insomnia.
Like, seriously bad insomnia. Like, she's been awake for, like, days, it seems like, or mostly awake.
What's the longest you can stay awake without going insane?
You can go 72 hours, and then you start to hallucinate.
Ooh.
Yeah. Have you ever stayed awake that long?
72 hours? No. I think the longest I've ever stayed awake is about 40 hours straight.
Okay.
I stayed awake 40 hours straight one time.
Yeah, I
Almost
stayed awake
2 days.
about, like, 36, 40 hours, and that was, taking, like, that, is it Metabolife, or just, like, the herbal?
No-dose and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Caffeine supplements and shit.
But she just can't sleep no matter what she tries. So
Okay.
she
needs a man.
Yeah, she's sitting in her backyard at 3 a.m. because she's awake, and she catches her neighbor Nadine with her husband walking across the yard, coming back from like a tryst outside in the park or something. What? Why? Like.
Okay, so Nadine and Nadine's husband.
Yes.
Okay, so they went and.
Like, they don't have any kids.
Like teenagers.
It's just the two of them in a house. Like, you really need to go do it in the park at 3 a.m?
Like, even if you got bored of doing it in the bedroom, there's a lot of places in the house you could do it.
So, then, okay, there's... I don't know, I took some notes. I actually took some notes, people. There's a meter reader dude.
Okay.
that they're checking out.
All right.
Like... So
like
hard.
It's a Pepsi commercial or something.
It's
Guy's
like,
taking his shirt off.
I'm embarrassed to be a woman the way they're looking at this
Okay.
guy. He's in some episodes of Seinfeld. He's like I know you would know him too, with the deep voice. Like he's always like deadpan and stuff.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
What's the actor's name?
Well, his
I can't think of it.
What is his name? He plays Putty on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
His name is I'm trying to remember.
Putty. Well, he's walking across the yard. And
David Putty. Yeah.
Grace says men are like linoleum floors. If you lay them right, you can walk on them for 30 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Patrick Warburton, that's his name. Just came to me.
Yeah, so she like has this whole fantasy about how she's like gonna go ask him out and stuff, and he's gonna say yes, and they're gonna like make out, but it doesn't happen because it's a fantasy. She doesn't even get up and talk to him.
That's sad.
She tells Nadine that she's always wanted to go to the opera and have a guy from the cover of a romance novel wrap his arms around her. That's
Really?
like her big fantasy. And Nadine's telling her how she needs to like do something for herself, and that's why she can't sleep because she's just always going.
Mm-hmm.
So she's listening to opera on the radio.
Okay.
And they give away tickets. This is like right after their conversation, and it's kind of funny. Like she calls to like win the tickets, and they're like, "Oh, you're the first caller." So she calls back. "Oh, you're the second caller." She calls back.
So nobody wants these tickets.
And so after a couple times, she's like, "Come on, just give me the tickets." So no one wants to go with her. It's kind of sad. Like she can't get a date to the opera. Mm-hmm. Nadine won't go with her. I think she asked Russell.
Okay.
The pharmacist dude. Like,
oh, I'm familiar with who Russell is.
And a bunch of the guys at work, like she brings it up there. Nobody will go. Like,
Russell is the Harvey Korman of this television show. Where are my Carol Burnett fans out there?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, you don't.
But okay, so she goes. She looks gorgeous. Like she was just gonna wear what she has around the house, right?
Right.
But Nadine got like somebody to come over and like do her all up and got her a new dress. So it was really nice. So she looks gorgeous. She gets her. She has an extra ticket. there's a guy who looks like he's from the frickin' cover of a romance novel.
Okay.
Standing outside. And he says something to her, and he's got like an accent too. Like a foreign, like Italian or something accent.
Okay.
And,
mon chéri.
he says hi to her or whatever, and she's like, oh my goodness, aren't you precious? Let me guess, you need a ticket to the opera. Like, she just assumes that Nadine set this up for her.
Right.
And he's like, as a matter of fact, I do. So they sit together, they watch the opera, they snuggle.
Oh, that's nice.
She gets her wish, and then she finds out the next day that
He's gay.
Nadine did not set it up. It just so happened that this guy really was into her. He asked her out, and she was like, oh, no, that's okay, haha, because she was like, oh, I'll just get his information from Nadine later. So then, like, the episode ends with her grabbing the phone book and being like, we are calling everyone in the phone book with an Italian-sounding last name, yeah.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, she had her fantasy, and it's staying a fantasy.
Oh, that's terrible.
Right?
Oh, what a bummer.
I mean, it's kind of nice that she got it, and it'll always, like, be perfect now, because
I guess.
couldn't fuck it up in one night.
Yeah. She needed to fuck it up one night. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's a little sad.
Poor Brett Butler.
I really like that show, though.
She's a good... I like her, too. I don't know if it's cocaine or what's fueling her, but... but it's good. I mean, we got whiskey and green beer fueling us, so...
Right. Cheers.
Oh, yeah. Clink! So... Let me tell you something.
Buttons.
What?
Buttons.
Is that the name of your cat?
You said sew buttons. So, I mean, you said so. I said buttons because you sew buttons.
Is that the nickname you gave to your pussy cat?
My cat's nickname is Kitty.
Uh-huh. What about your pussy cats?
You named that.
I did.
Not me.
Okay.
Yeah, weirdo.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Moving on.
Moving on. We saw something, didn't we? We saw a movie.
We did. We saw Bye Bye Love.
We did. Very interesting film.
Yeah, I really, really liked it.
So this movie stars Mathew Modine, Ranford Quaid.
Ranford.
Oh, yeah. Most people call him Randy. But,
Yeah.
and Paul Reiser.
From Mad About You.
Yeah. Mad About Bye Bye Love. And then also, I guess we should mention that there are women in this movie.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, it does star the three guys more than the women, though.
Yeah, but Janine Garofalo's in it.
I love her.
Yeah, Janine Garofalo is probably the breakout. Well, I mean, we saw her in what was it called? Reality Bites.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was great in that. And then there's also Amy Brenneman, and I can't remember the name of the blonde girl that's dating Mathew Modine.
Kim.
Yeah, I know her character's name. I just couldn't remember the actress's name.
Okay.
But anywho, we saw that, and I really enjoyed it. I liked it.
Me too.
I don't know that it's necessarily for our age group, but I enjoyed the film.
Well, I think that there's stuff for like almost any age group in this movie.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, that's probably true.
Because, I mean, it talks about, things happening with teenagers as well as, the parents and even, like, the older dude who's, like, retired and widowed and stuff.
Oh, yeah. The Ned Flanders from one of my favorite shows, St. Elsewhere.
Ned Flanders?
No. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Ed Flanders.
I was like, isn't that, like, The Simpsons?
Yeah, that's a dude from The Simpsons.
Okay.
The neighbor from The Simpsons.
I'm so confused.
No, Ed Flanders. Sorry, the actor's name is Ed Flanders.
Yeah, he's obsessed with St. Elsewhere, so... Ugh. I mean, it's fine.
What?
It's fine.
What?
You heard me?
No, actually, I didn't. What'd you say?
It's fine.
What is fine?
Say it elsewhere.
What's saying elsewhere?
Stop it. I'm done with you.
Oh my, really? Forever?
No, not if you give me another shot.
Another shot of what?
You know.
Give you a shot in the mouth.
Hey.
Anyway. So we saw this movie. So like I said, it stars us. So now the plot of the movie, basically, it starts at a wedding, and it's the three dudes. I think they've been friends since they were about 7 years old, and they are all divorced.
Yeah.
They all have kids, and they're all divorced, and that's what the movie's about. It's about being a single dad, divorced dad, whatever, you know. So they do their exchange at McDonald's, which I guess is popular to pick a like a neutral location where you can exchange the kids.
Well,
I'm slurring my speech
she's a loop.
all over the place because it's the St. Patrick's Day.
Definitely in this movie, it's like overrun with parents and children.
Oh fuck yeah! Can I say that still?
Yeah.
All right. You stopped dead. It was like there was a screech, like I walked into a bar in 1861 and the piano stopped and everything. Everyone craned their neck at me.
Oh my goodness.
What'd you see? But yeah, so they're exchanging their kids, and we get a lot of the characterization here. So Donnie is that's Paul Reiser's character. He's still in love with his ex-wife.
Yeah, so obviously and sickeningly.
Fawns all over her. His daughter is played by a pretty good actress, I think. She is. We'll talk about it later, but she has a pretty powerful scene in this movie that she does really well in. But she's got a really weird name. Her name is Alicia Dueshku.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. It's weird. It's a weird name.
It is weird.
If you're listening there, Elisha Dueshku, change your name.
No.
Get a Hollywood sounding name.
Stand out. Be different. Don't conform.
Wow, don't conform.
Don't conform to the Hollywood thing.
Conformity now. What was I gonna say? So
I don't know.
So yeah, he's in love with his ex-wife. Is like very fawns over her, gives her a check. She's like, "Oh, you don't have to keep doing this. You don't have to keep giving me money." And he's like, "Well, I want to give you money."
Yeah, it's so bizarre. And I'm sorry, but I think it's wrong of her to take it.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, absolutely. But then we have Mathew Modine, who's the playa. Everyone, all the girls love him. What do you think of Mathew Modine?
I would not want to sleep with him.
No,
not at all.
He's got not jagged, but he's got sharp features.
Yeah, and he's got like this long feathered hair.
He does, yes.
And the way they dress him, and he seems very feminine.
A little bit, yeah. I can see that.
Not usually how a player would be.
He's got that long neck too. He's got quite a neck.
Yeah, he's just odd.
Anyway, so he's the heartthrob, I guess, and
I guess being the key words.
He cheated on his wife, played by Amy Brenneman. And
she's pretty. She's
is.
like the prettiest one in the movie.
Yeah, I think so, probably. Yeah, but he cheated on her, and he's dating this new girl, Kim, and he's cheating on her because as she comes in to see them, he's like, "Oh no, there's Kim," and he looks at his friends and he's like, "Hey, we were at the Dodger game last night, you know," and like he gives them all like the backstory.
Right.
Donnie, you didn't feel good. We left early. Blah 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 blah.
He's like, "What did I have?"
Right.
Your choice.
Yeah, it's so fucked up.
It's like they've done this a million times,
and it's so fucked up that they go along with it.
Yeah.
Which gets pointed out later in the movie. But anyway, so they cover for him, and Donnie gives him shit. He's like, "Well, she's so great and everything. What does she have except that she's not 4 different girls?"
Right.
But so we can figure out what's going on with Mathew Modine and his ex-wife, why they broke up, and then we Randy Quaid or Ranford Quaid, if you want to be formal, and his ex-wife, who I don't think ever gets named.
Huh. I don't know.
Not that I remember anyway.
I know her boyfriend does. His name is Gerald.
Gerald.
But yeah, I don't remember her name either.
So they clearly just hate each other.
Yeah. I mean, Lord knows what happened, but yes, they hate each other.
You can see why they got divorced. They're arguing all the time. She comes up and he's like, "Hey, what are these new tires?" And he looks. He's like, "They're Michelin's." It's so weird. And she's like, "Yeah, I just decided, I'm going to get what every woman my age really dreams of: new tires."
Right.
He's like, "The money I'm sending you is for the kids, not for new tires."
Which, are attached to the vehicle that drives his kids around.
And he's like,
saying.
"Is that a new coat too? What did it come with the tires?" He's like, he says, "Not for you to dress up like the Queen of Sheba with new tires." Like, it's really weird.
Yeah.
So he doesn't come off great at the beginning, but then
He doesn't come off great very much at all. Sorry.
I disagree.
Well, we'll see.
But then it comes out that her boyfriend, Gerald, hit his son.
Yep.
And he's like, "You tell Gerald if he lays a finger on my son again, I'll kill him." And she said, "Oh, it was just a tap," and he was being very rude. And he goes, "I don't care if he was pissing on his head." He touches him again, he dies.
Yeah.
So we get, like I said, we get that. It's a great scene. Like of characterization for all of them. And then we meet Max, the old man.
Yeah, at McDonald's.
Yeah, the McDonald's that they're at. And I can't remember the dude's name. The heartthrobby kid.
Oh. I want to say Sean, but I don't know if that's right.
I think you're thinking of Boy Meets World.
He does look like that. Huh.
Yeah, I can't think, but it's Max and I don't know the other one.
Yeah, there's a teenage boy.
Yeah, so it's a teenage boy and the Donnie's daughter, the Alicia girl, she's got a crush on him, and Vic, that's Randy Quaid's character's name, his daughter is around the same age.
Yeah.
And they're both kind of like looking at him and everything. And
yeah, they're like best friends.
So this dude meets the old guy, and he's like, "Hey, I'll help you. I'll train you and everything, basically. It's part of the McMaster's program. I guess people who's retired that want, something to do with their time, I guess."
Right.
And we find out that the young kid is sleeping in his car.
Yeah, he's like homeless.
Yeah, he's got nowhere to go because his mom is a piece of crap or whatever.
Well, like he doesn't really know his dad.
Yeah.
And his mom has some guy living there that he doesn't like.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think he's a teenager like in high school, or do you think he's a young adult, like 18?
I think he's still in high school. I think he's probably like I think he might be 18. I think he's like 17, 18. I think he's like senior in high school, like on that borderline. That's the feeling that I get.
Okay.
But I guess it could be either. Some dude walks in and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna have a party." Like, it's so over the top. Like, he just seems like a dork.
See, I think he seems like I don't know, like a troubled kid, maybe.
No, not the one that's sleeping in his car. His friend comes in,
yeah,
and he's like, "I need, give me fries for my whatever, horses for my men," or something like that. And he's like, "Oh," and he goes, "Hey, what's the big going on or whatever?" And he's like, "Oh, we're gonna have a party and everything." He's got those flyers and stuff like that for this party, but the whole encounter, he seems like a dork.
Yeah,
to me.
Yeah, I'll give that to you. I mean, he just seems really excited though.
In the background of all this is Rob Reiner, who's hosting a radio show where he's basically like, it's divorce talk, and he's talking about divorce, and he's given terrible advice. Like it's supposed to be one of those, someone like Frasier, but Frasier's actually kind of good at his job,
right?
But it's like a parody of that, where it's like, because we hear them a lot of times on our radios. These, quote unquote therapists or whatever that are on the radio that are, like, "Oh, I'm listening. We're giving advice." So,
is he supposed to be a therapist?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be some kind of therapist.
Oh, I did not get that impression.
Well, I don't think he might not even really have a degree. Some of these people that are like doctor or whatever don't have degrees.
Yeah,
they're not actual doctors.
Like a actual therapist.
But he's like, yeah. My favorite part is the guy calls up and he's like, the guy's like, whatever. And he's like, you seem so angry, so blocked. He's like, I am angry. I'm blocked.
Right.
And then he goes, don't you want to be happy? And the guy goes, I don't know. Like, it's just like, he's so like pissed off, but that's such a sudden change. He's like,
Right.
don't you want to be happy? I don't know. But yeah, so that like the Dr. David Townsend, that's his name.
And he says it's 48 hours.
Yeah, Dr. David Townsend.
Yes.
That's
Okay,
so
you're
it's
right.
doctor,
You're right.
yeah.
But he's like, this is going to be nothing but divorce for 48 hours. Does that mean that he's working 48 hours straight?
That's what it seems like, because at one point he's like, we're 30 hours in.
Like,
and it's
why?
Like, why is he marathoning this?
It's kind of crazy.
But yeah, so I think it's just the framing device for the movie, where it's like, this is taking place over the course of 2 days.
It's kind of crazy to think about that, too.
Yeah.
That this whole thing is only on 48 hours.
So, anyway, we get a lot of dynamics here. I don't necessarily... Because we're going to go super long if I go through the whole movie. Because I can really get into the weeds of this movie.
Okay.
So I don't want to go like the whole movie. But I'm just going to kind of... I think the best way to do it is to talk about each of the characters and kind of their aspect of divorce and kind of the issues they're going through and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I will say, I don't have kids. It is 1995. And lucky me, as of 1995, I do not have children. So this movie doesn't necessarily speak to me on that level of being a dad, but it speaks to me a lot on the level of like friendship between the three guys. The friendship between the three of them, I think, is really strong and interesting, and it's a good aspect of this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess we can start with Donnie.
Okay.
So Donnie's daughter is 14. She's going through this, this rebellious kind of phase where, she doesn't talk to him a lot. She doesn't want to hang out with him. The first night that she's there, she wants to go stay with her friend, that Randy Quaid's daughter, because, she has fun with her or whatever. She just doesn't want to be around her dad. Like, it's not interesting to her.
Yeah. Well, she seems like she's angry about the divorce, so.
Yeah. Well, that definitely comes out. Yeah. The mom is remarried to Ted, I think his name is, or something like that. Stepdad. And they have this graduation party. I don't know what she's graduating from.
Middle school.
Yeah, I guess middle school. And which is so weird. Graduation from middle school.
I think it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, but apparently that's what people with money do. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so she's graduating, and like he feels super out of place there. And, he goes up, he tries to talk to her, and Ted's like, oh, it's her birth father, to his mom. And she's like, what? He's like, birth father! It's like he's screaming it and everything. And it's just very awkward to him. And like I said, he doesn't feel like part of it. And she asks if she can go to her friend's house again tonight.
The second night.
To do her hair. And he's like, you're graduating tomorrow. I want to hang out with you and stuff. And she's like, well, she's going to do my hair. And he says, can't you do your hair in the morning? And she goes, that's not how hair works.
But she's lying because she wants to go to the party.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, I'm sorry, but just as a girl, that's dumb.
Yeah.
That's not how hair works.
Right. But so he's got problems there. He's not connecting with his daughter. He's still yearning for his ex-wife. And I mean, that's the majority of his arc.
Yeah, he seems very alone.
He can't get over her.
Yeah.
So, at one point they sit down and have a conversation, him and his daughter, at the dinner table, where he's made Vic's meatloaf madness. The secret recipe of Vic is ragu, apparently. But keep it down. So, they're eating that, and he's trying to talk to her, and she's like, oh, yeah, the house on... What street was it?
Oh, I don't remember.
But it's some street that they used to live on. And she's like, yeah, the good old days or whatever. That's what Mom calls it, before the flood, and stuff. And
I wonder what the flood is. I want to know what happened to them.
No, I assume it's like a biblical reference. That's my guess.
Okay.
Antediluvian and whatever,
Sure.
But that's what I assume it is. I don't think there was an actual flood. So they, she's like, he says, I think we were happy there. And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. And like, she's really shutting him out and everything. And then she it's a teenage rant where she stands up and she's like, you think I want to come here all the time? I like to be with my friends. I don't want to, come here, but I got us to hang out with you. And like really hurtful shit.
Terrible. Like I would never speak to my father that way.
And she's like, he goes, you little shit, or whatever. And he's like, you want to leave? Fine. You want to go over to Meg, that's her friend.
Okay.
Go over to Meg's house? Fine. He starts just leafing money out of his pocket, just throwing it at her. He's like, get out of here then. And she just runs off.
She doesn't even grab any money. I'm sorry, but if somebody's throwing money at me, I'm taking it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's raining down bills, man. Grab that shit. But yeah, she takes off. She wants to go to this party, so that's what she's going to do. And, he gets all upset and everything. He goes over to his ex-wife's house and
stalks her like a freak.
Yeah, watches her as she's like cuddling with her new husband and everything. The sprinkler system comes on, like soaks him up. So he goes to, I can't remember her character's name though. Amy Brenneman. He goes to see the actress Amy Brenneman and says, do you want a guest spot on Mad About You? And she starts kissing him. No, but he's talking to her about it and everything. And he's like, oh, this sucks and stuff. And then they start making out.
Yeah. And
they had a scene earlier in the movie too at the graduation where he's kind of confiding in her. She also, like confronts him during that scene where she's like, you knew that Dave was, screwing around on me, didn't you? And like, she's like, you were my friend too. It's not fair.
Yeah.
What you did basically. And so I agree. I agree. They shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't be trying to cover for him. He's fucking up, and they're just enabling him to be bad. So, they start making out and everything, and she stops him at one point. She's like, look, we can't do this. This is too fast. If it goes too fast now, we're going to ruin this, and she's like, I think you should go. And he goes, you say that like you're going to change your mind. And she goes, yeah, I probably am. That's why you should go. So he does leave, and then he goes to talk to Dave, Mathew Modine, and is basically like, hey, what you did was wrong, and what we did was wrong. We covered for you, and it was all, we shouldn't have done it and everything. And he's like, I kissed your wife and everything. And, finally, like, when they actually have a conversation, he's like, it's good. He's like, she's great. You're great. If you two are together, that, that'll be great too. So you should pursue it. So he gets his blessing, which is
he was
awesome.
really, really nice about it.
So I mean, that's basically his until we get to the like little wrap up, the denouement that basically wraps up his storyline. So I guess we can go to Vic next.
Yeah, sure.
Vic has one of the most fun things. Now, obviously, he's got a lot of anger issues.
Oh my God, yeah.
He's a wrestling coach and a driver's ed instructor.
I didn't get the wrestling coach part. I missed that.
Oh yeah, the weight class.
Oh yeah.
So he hates his ex-wife. He comes to pick up his daughter. He's already got his two kids. They exchanged them at McDonald's, and the young one, I don't know why he didn't get right away. But
well, I guess that because she's like a baby toddler, like the mom gets more time with the baby.
Oh yeah, that's right. At the beginning, he said they were. Excuse me. He said they were trying something new, and it was like some super complicated thing. Where it's like 2 weekends on, 2 weekends off, alternating Tuesdays.
He's getting her for like parts of weekdays.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think that's part of it. And she's not awake yet, so they start arguing. He starts playing with the dog, Ditka, which she claims is her dog. They fight over who found the dog. And then he sees Gerald on the porch. And he starts ranting that he built that porch.
Gerald shouldn't be allowed on that porch.
Exactly. The poster child for unemployment, as he calls it. You made the comment that you don't think that this woman is attractive enough.
Oh my God, no! She's hideous, and she has a mullet. And Gerald is decent looking and obviously much younger than her.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, how did that happen?
Do you think he's just looking for like a sugar mama? You think that's what it is?
I mean, if he is unemployed and has a band.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, she's a mom. Like, she's not going to hang out with him in his band. I bet that he's got some side stuff going on.
Oh, for sure. I don't doubt it at all. That's a convenient place to crash, basically.
Right.
Her house is near the garage where he practices. That's all it is.
Yep. Little sex, maybe some food, place to sleep.
Exactly. Hit some kids. You know,
Right.
it's a good time. You got some kids for me to slap. This is awesome. Anyway, so he gets the child. They go see the Red Sox, I believe, and then he's got to give up the kid to the grandparents because the mom is going out of town for like a week or something like that.
Yeah.
And like you pointed out, it doesn't make any sense. Just let him keep the child. Just
Right?
like his daughter.
Yeah, he's got to, like, just for a few hours he had her, and then he's got to give her away to them. And she's like, no, Daddy, and she doesn't want him to go. It's, like, heartbreaking.
Yeah, she's sobbing and stuff, and he's like, she'll be okay when I leave and everything. Which I'm sure is probably true, but still it's like, it sucks.
Yeah. Ugh.
But he walks away, and the brilliance of the acting of Randy Quaid is you can see, like, he's got some pain in his eyes, and just a ghost of a smile. He doesn't, it's not, an actual smile never comes across his face, but you can see, like, it starting to try to form.
Yeah.
And it's the perfect encapsulation of how I would imagine you'd feel in that position, because you'd be sad that your daughter is sad, but you'd also be happy that she loves you so much that it makes her this upset to leave you.
Right, for sure.
You know,
and,
so-
he has a really good relationship with his two older kids.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I get the impression that he's a very good dad.
Absolutely, yeah. Really good dad.
So.
That definitely is how it seems. He has not had a lot of dating success.
No.
He's only gone out on 3 dates, 2 if you don't count his cousin,
Yeah, weird.
which they bring up several times. So weird. But anyway, so he goes out with Janine Garofalo.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite parts of the movie.
It's one of the highlights, and because she's so funny in this movie.
Yeah.
She is so good.
I love what she can do with her eyes.
Oh yeah.
Like, she conveys so much just with her eyes.
Absolutely. Yeah, she does a lot of great facial acting. But she's the quintessential like bad blind dates.
Yes.
They go to this Italian restaurant and she doesn't know what she wants to order. She's coughing for like 10 minutes at the beginning. And basically just like, what do I want? What do I want?
Yeah, I mean, the coughing you can forgive because you can't always help that.
Right.
But taking a bajillion years to order?
And it's an Italian restaurant. It's like everyone knows what Italian restaurants have.
You have an idea usually walking in what you're going to get.
Right. There's about 5 or 6 different kinds of pasta you could get and like 3 different sauces. Do you want some meat? There's like 3 different kinds of meat you can get. That's basically it.
And like then when she finally does order, she orders spaghetti and meatballs.
Yep.
And they bring it. She sends it back.
Yes.
She tries a bunch of other things, ends up back on spaghetti and meatballs.
Yep.
Then he finally is about to eat his spaghetti, and she gives him freaking puppy dog eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And wants his food instead of her own food, which the only difference between their plates is the meatballs.
Right.
What?
So they exchange,
She's a psycho.
and she starts eating.
Yes.
But yeah, this has some of the best lines here. Now, as I pointed out when we were watching this, the only mistake I think he makes the entire time is he's just looking at her and he goes, how much do you weigh?
Right.
What the fuck? Why would you ask that of a woman? And she's, like, understandably, she's like, excuse me? He goes, oh, I'm a wrestling coach, and I like to put people in their proper weight class. And then he says, so what would you weigh? So what, you'd probably wrestle at 124, something like that. And she says, 109. So,
She does not weigh 109.
No, I don't think so either.
Kim might weigh 109.
But it's such a weird, like, she shouldn't even have to answer that question.
Right.
Why does he keep pursuing it?
I don't know. Because at that point he's already decided he is checked out. This is not happening, so he's entertaining himself.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's probably true. He realizes this is not going to go well.
Right.
Yeah, because like at one point she's talking about dating and everything, and she's like, "Oh, me and my ex-husband, we were complete opposites," and he goes, "He was normal."
Right.
But yeah, so it's a disaster of a date. They end up, driving back to her house in his car, which is the student driver car, and she's grabbing the wheel and turning it, and she's hitting the brakes and everything.
Which she caused an accident.
Yeah, it's pretty funny though.
It is.
So they get back to her house, and she has locked her keys in her house.
Now, first of all, when they pull up, she's like, "Aren't you going to invite me in for coffee or something?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "But we're at your house." And she's like, "Exactly."
Right.
Like, she wanted to go to his house, which is weird.
Right.
Like, if the point is that she wanted to be alone with him, why? At that point, that doesn't even make sense. Then why wouldn't she want to invite him into her house for coffee?
I don't know, but I think this was all set up. Like I said in the theater, I
disagree.
I think this is all set up because he's like, "Well, let me walk you to the door," and he starts like half-heartedly walking her to the door. And as he's leaving, she wants to make sure she starts going through her purse even faster, and she's like, "Wait, don't go." She's like, "Oh, did I lock my keys in the house?" And she looks in the window and she's like, "Oh, yep, there they are, right by the phone." Right in easy visual from the, so he can confirm that they're locked in the house too. I think she did all this on purpose.
I mean, it's possible, but I doubt it because, I lose my keys all the time. I forget my keys all the time. I locked my keys in the car. I've locked myself out of the house. I've had to call locksmiths to break in.
But you're an airhead.
Hey, so is she.
I think she seems pretty sharp. Oh. A lot sharper than you.
Oh.
I'm just
okay,
joking.
then.
I said you were an airhead and you didn't think that was a joke? You're not an airhead.
I am a little.
No, you're not. Anyway, so Vic's forced to take her over to Mathew Modine's house where some stuff's going on. And Donnie ends up there to confront him about the Amy Brenneman situation. So Vic, like you said, and then there's, so I don't want to
what? Slow down.
It everything kind of like intertwines. I don't want to ruin it, but Vic has this epiphany basically where he's
what?
We missed the Donnie thing.
What?
Like when we were talking about Donnie, we didn't talk about the resolution to him and his daughter.
Well, no, because we're going to do that at the end because it's like the end of the movie.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll do the Vic thing at the end, too.
Yeah.
We'll get everyone to Dave's house. Then
yes,
we'll kind of...
that's what I thought we were doing.
All right. So, then Dave. Back to Dave.
Oh, good old can't keep it in his pants, Dave.
So, he's at the soccer game, and he sees this woman who is broken up with her husband. Earlier in the movie, Donnie had advised him that you can't start dating a woman until she's been divorced at least 5 days.
Right.
So he argues against it, in McDonald's. But when he's talking to her, he goes, "Oh, how long's it been? More than 5 days?" So he's just going to use this, apparently. And she's like, "Oh, it's over, and everything. It's been a while." And he starts flirting with her and inviting her over, even though he's dating Kim.
Yeah.
Meantime, he meets this other woman named Heidi, and he starts flirting with her and invites her over. And there's no like come over at this time or anything. It's not one of those tropey things where he's doubling up on dates or anything. He's just like, hey, stop by whenever.
Yeah, whenever. Like, it's not a serious. I wouldn't have taken that as a serious invitation.
No, I wouldn't have thought, "Oh, I'll come over and fuck him" or anything.
But I mean,
these women did.
Yeah.
Would bring their kids over. Let's let our kids play, and then we can go, hump in the bed.
Right.
But anyway, so I'm trying to think. There's not much else that happens with him, really. Like, there's some undertones of his son Ben being uncomfortable with the fact that Kim is over a lot.
Oh yeah, and there's like this stupid scene where he just put the kids to bed, and he's like, "We've got 5, maybe 10 minutes."
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he wants to
have
like
sex.
get her in the bedroom and have sex in that amount of time. And he's like, because there's going to be drinks of water and blah, blah, blah. Like, just wait till the kids are asleep.
Right, seriously.
What is your problem? And so, of course, they get caught.
Mm-hmm. Because Ben
his
wants
son
water.
is a jerk.
Oh, yeah. His son's like, she's not staying the night, is she?
You know she's not supposed to.
Right. It's like the whole I don't like his son at all.
Yeah.
And I have a friend named Ben, and his son's named Ben, and my friend Ben hates the kid has his name. But anyway, so that's the undertone there, is that the daughter doesn't seem to mind, but the son doesn't really like it. She's trying really hard too, Kim. She makes this very nice dinner of mahi and like
which is so cute and so obviously someone who's not familiar with children.
Right, exactly. But she makes this food, the kids don't like it and everything. She's like, well, I'll make you a hamburger or whatever. And she goes into, and Matthew Modine gets pissed. He's like, no, you'll eat the fish.
Oh, yeah, he wants to kill these kids.
Yeah, he gets really pissed off. But then the first woman comes.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, hey, what's
And she
up?
brought kid-friendly food.
Oh, yeah, kid-friendly food and her kids. Yeah, Heidi was the first one to come.
Yeah.
And then Sumter comes in too, and she's got, I think, some kind of pie or something like that.
Yeah, it actually works out. It's like there's a meal for the kids, there's a meal for the adults, and there's dessert.
Right. So they all come in. Kim is getting very angry at this point.
Yes.
And they start, they all start like hanging out. And Kim's like, this is not what it was supposed to be. I wanted this night to be special and everything. And he's like, oh, it'll be special because, we're going to have a 4-way. But now I said what the movie shows us, I don't really think that she should be as mad as she is. But I think what the movie doesn't show us is that she's figured a lot of this out already.
Right.
What do you think?
I mean,
as a woman, give me the female perspective.
I think part of why she gets so angry is the way he handles it.
Okay.
Because they're showing up unannounced with food and children.
Mm-hmm.
And he just invites them in, and he's so nice and sweet and attentive.
Oh, yeah.
And the three of them are talking about their kids and their divorces, and she's just sitting there. She has nothing to contribute.
Right.
So she's basically watching them all flirting and talking, and she's completely left out. So, I mean, he could have handled it better, too.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, she gets pissed off, and it comes to, a big fight. She storms out, but she has to come back because she forgot her purse. And that's when Vic shows up. That's when Donnie shows up.
Yeah.
And all that stuff happens. Basically, I think we can wrap up Mathew Modine's real quick because his is, like I said, it's not that complicated.
Okay.
He has a conversation with Donnie when they're talking about Amy Bredeman and everything, where he talks about his dad, and he's like, I did basically saying he never barely knew his dad. He remembers his dad pulling up in some like fancy car when he was 11. And he was like, "Hey, happy birthday, kid!" And he gave him a tennis racket. And he's like, "I didn't play tennis." He's like, "I don't even know who this guy is," kind of
Right.
thing. And he's like, "I don't want to be him." I don't want to be that guy. And, Donnie's like, you're not that guy, but, obviously you need to make changes. That's the subtext.
Right.
And, he starts, talking to Kim, and they, they patch things up. He starts going to counseling and dealing with his issues, whatever it is, like not being satisfied with one woman or whatever, his underlying issues are. But, it seems like he starts to get better, and Kim's allowed to spend the night and stuff like that and everything. So that works out.
Yeah.
Now, Donnie, his daughter, and Vic's daughter, and Vic's son go to, I guess this is why he had to take him to the grandparents, because if she had this little kid, there's no way she could take this toddler to this party.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why.
Yeah, she takes her little brother she's supposed to be babysitting to the party. Mm-hmm. So she can go with her friend, who is obviously like just freaking out.
Right.
I mean, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have fun and stuff," and she's drinking, but I mean, it's like obviously she's not right now.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. She's she's upset and everything. And then it turns out that the guy doesn't like her. He likes this friend.
Yep. He liked the friend, Meg.
He asks the friend to dance. And, she's so sweet. She's like just worried about her friend.
Yeah, you can see on her face. She's like, oh no.
And so the Donnie's daughter starts getting super drunk. And she takes the weird dork from the beginning.
Whose house it is.
With the frizzy hair.
Yeah.
And she's like, we're driving out of here. And grabs a car and tries to go. They try to stop her because she's drunk and she doesn't have a driver's license.
She's 14.
So she speeds out of there and she drives to the old house and climbs up into her old treehouse.
She parks on the lawn.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of impressed that she made it, though. I mean, she doesn't have a license and she's drunk, and she managed to get there. I drive
better when I'm drunk.
Apparently.
We will not be doing any driving today.
No.
Trust us.
No.
We'll be maybe walking or crawling from pub to pub, but we're not going to be doing any driving. So anyway, where was I at? So Donnie finds out, gets a call from Meg. He's like, come on, you need to get over here. So they get there to the house. He climbs up the freaking trellis.
Yeah, because she won't let the rope down.
And then onto the tree, almost falls, pulls himself up. And talks to her, and he's like, hey, what the hell is going on? And then they finally have a real conversation.
Right.
Where she thinks that the divorce is her fault, and if she wasn't getting in trouble, if she was better, that her parents would have stayed together.
It was so heartbreaking and sad.
You were tearing your eyes out.
Yeah, it was sad. I feel bad for her.
A lot of tears. They finally come to an understanding that, everything's going to be okay. And they come out of the tree and they kind of heal,
Yeah. Yeah, according to the end thingy, they're now meeting for lunch twice a week.
Yeah, which is good. And she tells her dad everything. Well, almost everything. Not that she's pregnant. But anyway, so she's having the dork's baby.
God, I hope not.
So then Vic, he's pissed off, obviously, and he's finally sick of hearing Dr. David Townsend. So he gets into a car, drives to the studio, walks into the recording play. No security, no locks, nothing. He just walks right in, and then starts choking him.
Yup.
And then basically starts screaming at him. Dr. David Townsend is like, the security starts coming. He's like, no, wait. This might be ratings gold. You never know. So then they start conversing and everything, and Vic ends up joining him for this, this show. And he's taught. Now he gives like some insight to his character, like you were talking about how he's a good dad. Mm-hmm. He says when he was married, he wasn't really there for his kids.
He worked, 2-3 jobs.
Mm-hmm. And he just, his wife told him what to do. His wife said, this one needs to be kissed. This one needs to be yelled at, whatever. And he would do it. And he's like, but now, when I'm with them, it's just me and I do all the emotional stuff. If they need a heart to heart, if they need a Band-Aid, if I rub the bellies, I do this. And he's like, I feel closer to them than ever. And he's like, and then they leave and I realize what I'm missing. He's like, before I never really knew what I was missing.
That's very sweet. Yeah,
it's a very kind of heartwarming thing, and we learn that him and Janine Garofalo are dating.
Yes,
it worked out between the two of them somehow. She's a driver's training instructor now, and he's doing the radio show. And basically, the three guys are still friends. They still support each other, and their lives are crazy, but they're kind of getting on. And Donnie and Amy Brenneman are dating.
No, they're not dating.
Oh yeah, they're married.
They're married, and they're expecting twins on their second wedding anniversary.
Yeah, that's right.
And it ends with them all at Dr. David Townsend's 5th wedding.
Right. Yeah, what a person to get advice from.
The divorce expert. Well, he is a divorce expert.
I guess.
I mean, he's definitely been through it.
But yeah, that's the movie. I
Very good.
thoroughly enjoyed this film. A very good movie.
Yeah. I mean, great character development, and it's funny, and it's emotional. It's got everything.
Yep. I liked it a lot. It was a very good one. So I would recommend you going out and seeing Bye Bye Love. We will end this episode as we end every episode with our blockbuster pick of the week. Carol, this week we've got a great. It's taken a while for it to come to the blockbuster, but it is Only You.
Only You.
Yeah, it's what I say to you all the time.
Aw.
It's a Marissa Tomei, Robert Downey Jr. joint. Basically, it's a pretty good film. I don't want to give away too much, but I will tell you it features a Ouija board at the beginning.
Okay.
And they're supposed to be soulmates, basically, these two people. So like actual soulmates. So it's a very cute romantic comedy. There's a little bit of magicalism or mysticism or whatever in it. If you're into that, it's one I would recommend. I think it's pretty good. So if you are interested, I would go ahead and check that out.
Well, I'm sold. Let's go rent it.
All right. Well, Carol, why don't you take us home?
Okay, so be sure to tell your friends, give us the stars, and write us at latefee1994@aol.com.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
All right, bye.